Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nelnet's Data Conversion and Client Implementation Dashboard Senior Design Showcase. Let's start with talking a bit about Nelnet. I see a lot of Nelnet folks here, so you guys might know this better than me and Ben here. But Nelnet was founded in 1986. It's headquartered in Lincoln, Nebraska, so it's a local company, which we all love. The industry that we worked specifically is education technology and financial services. And we work directly with the fax SIS systems, so which serves a lot of over 12,000 clients providing K-12 education solutions. And the mission of this company is making educational dreams possible through service and technology. The project connection is supporting client onboarding with data conversion. So we'll be talking about a bit more about what the project actually is very soon. Before getting into the project details, we would like to talk a bit about the stakeholders. So the stakeholders from Nelnet is the Managing Director of IT K-12, Brittany Wilson. We have Director of IT Fax, SIS Jeff here. We have Senior Manager of IT, Sebastian Klein. I hope he's joining online. We have Manager of IT, Casey, Conversion Engineer, Zane, and Director of Client Experience Onboarding is Ginger. We worked with all of you very closely, so it's pretty cool to see you all here. Going into our UNL faculty, staff, and coach, we have Bill Browning. He's our project manager for our project. We have Dr. Sui. She's our tribe lead, and Katie, who has been our coach. Talking about us as a team, our product manager is Kashish. I'm the development manager, Hamdan. We have Ben, Kaylin, Muhammad, and Thomas as developers who complete our team. So we've talked enough about who we are and who we worked with, but now comes to the meat of the discussion of today's showcase, which is the problem and the opportunity that we worked on this semester or this year. So when we were presented with this project idea, the problem to us and to Nelnet was very clear. The onboarding process for fax SIS is not very smooth currently, which is that the current process involved manually checking and correcting data between school admins and the Nelnet staff. There is a lot of traffic, email, and other forms of traffic between the school admins sending students, staff, and parents data, and the Nelnet staff who are tasked with storing that data. But sometimes when the validation is not working or validation is not as expected as the required guidelines, then they have to send it back to the student admins, and it's a back and forth process, and all of this is done manually. So this was the problem that was presented to us. So going into a bit more details into the problem, as we said, there was manual data validation done for the data input into the fax database, and the staff manually had to review large volumes of incoming data from school admins, and this could take a lot of manual hours and efforts. And this in turn increased the high risk of human error during data conversion process, and there was no centralized system to track or to validate or to make sure what kind of data are being inputted into the Nelnet system. So when this problem was presented to us, we were also presented to the opportunity from you guys, which is Nelnet wanted to streamline this process with the onboarding with the help of a real-time client web dashboard. What this does is that it reduces the manual effort between sending files or data from school admins to Nelnet staff back and forth. So the reducing of manual effort and client onboarding times, and validation would be done in real time with the web client dashboard, so they did not have to manually check through the validation rules that was part of the guidelines. And the most importantly, improve the client experience and data quality, which is huge when, as one can imagine, sending data back and forth in email or in other forms, it's not very easy experience. So this was a problem and the opportunity that was presented to us. I'll now pass it over to Ben to talk about the solution.
Yeah, so looking at the solution we actually built to address these problems. So again, our system was meant to streamline the data migration process from schools, districts, admins keeping the records into Nelnet's system. So if we look at what we actually built, we have the table view and the person view. So the table view is a scalable bulk data management interface for student, parent, and staff records. It's organized by table type and validation status. So what this means is you'll have a table that contains all of the records, all of the parent records that have invalid emails, for example. So you can go through and fill out those email fields, allowing you to move through more records at once. And then if we look at the person view, this has a form view of all of the fields that you would be required to validate. So you can view name, social security number, email, address, everything like that, and it'll show you what needs validation, what's not conforming with the requirements that Nelnet has for their data to be stored. So we have real-time synchronization between the table view and the person view, so changes made in one view affect the other one. Lots of user-friendly features, which I'll showcase in a minute here. Yeah, nice interactive front end, nice user experience. So if we look at the person view here, we can see on the left sidebar there in that vertical column, we're showing all of the students that need validations done to their records. You can view students, staff, parents this way. And you can see in the middle there, the cell phone field is highlighted red because it's not conforming to the format that the data is expected in. And then we have a tooltip next to the invalid field there showing you the expected format that the data should be in. And then we have toggle buttons to navigate between the person view and the table view. Looking a little further at this form view here for the person view, you can input data either through text entry in text boxes, or we have selectors, so drop downs that'll have predetermined input values like active, inactive for the status there. And then we have date pickers that allow you a little more of a user-friendly date input process there. You need to update the record manually when you're in the person view. So we have messages that tell you whether the form is fully validated, whether the changes you saved went through or not. If you try to click off without saving your changes, it'll catch you and ask you if that's what you want to do. And then looking at the table view, we have automatic validation, again, tooltips for the required format there. So again, this would be all the parent records with invalid cell phones, so you can roll through and fill those out with more at a time there. So looking at the value, real-time data validation, reduce manual effort, and improve client experience. Those were the goals with kind of moving this process into a more automated web-based format instead of the manual Excel email-based system we had going before. And then the highlights of the project for us were developing the web page and UI, implementing that automatic validation, and designing a flexible interface for the person view and table view. So we had a lot of fun working on this project. We learned some very valuable things, interacting with the sponsors, getting that hands-on development experience in the Agile workflow, getting some good Azure DevOps practice as well. Yeah, lots of good communication with the sponsors to nail down our requirements and the solution. So we wanted to take this opportunity to thank Nelnet for being such great sponsors. Yeah, as I mentioned before, it was a great collaborative, interactive process for the whole year. We think we did a great job working through the requirements together, and yeah, very supportive. So we couldn't have asked for better sponsors, and we hope that you guys are satisfied with the solution kind of proof of concept thing we came up with here.
Yeah, I would also like to thank the Nelnet staff, because from the first meeting onwards, we were very nervous, unsure, anxious what this project should look like. But the guidance and I like to say, like, the Nelnet guided us in the exact right way, not giving us too much information. So we had a bit of development freedom, but at the same time guiding us when we were going off track or not the expected outcome. So it was very supportive, very understanding, very respectful communication from both our sides. So like Ben said, I hope we fulfilled our part of the deal, which you guys have definitely done for us. So thank you so much for helping us learn and have a fun environment.